Good morning everyone. I hope we are all doing well. So, good news. I'm starting a new history photography project to be precise. And we're going to explore some local history and be going over musical venues of importance and significant in my sort of local area. I'm going to be doing these on my run to keep things short and sweet. I'm really excited about this project because it gives me an opportunity to explore some local history which we don't normally get to look at, and it's going to be a challenge to try and make some of these places look interesting. But what I want to be able to do is tell a story of these places. So each week we're going to be looking at a different venue. Every picture I take, I'm going to be documenting and creating a sort of mini field book which I'm going to be putting in there. Then hopefully by the end of lockdown we'll have a sort of nice book put together of local history. So today's run, I'm going to take you with me. We are going to head out to the old headquarters of Trojan Records. Let's go for a run. Over there at 12 Neasden Lane was a place called Music House, which was the headquarters of the mighty Trojan Records, which led the way of bringing reggae music to the UK in the 1960s and early 1970s. So many major releases were released on that album, and it started in a sort of warehouse just over there. Unfortunately, it was knocked down to make way for the magistrates court, which is just behind me over there, and the record label was bought up and taken over by others. But we'll go into the history of that a bit later, because it's now getting a little bit noisy with all the traffic going around here. I mean, despite it being locked down, it is surprisingly busy out this morning. Anyway, I'm going to have a nice peaceful run back. See you later. Okay, hello. So back from our run, and you've just seen Music House on 12 Neasden Lane. That was the HQ of the mighty Trojan Records, and this place has a really interesting history. So between 1968 and 1975, Music House was home to Trojan Records. The label was started by two people, Lee Gothel and Chris Blackwell, who was part of Island Records at the time, whose help at popularising Jamaican music to the UK, releasing hundreds of ska, rocksteady and reggae records. A lot of their releases that they put out were imports from Jamaica that they then sort of got on loan from those record labels that they could then put out to the market in the UK. They became the biggest label of its time, releasing records by Brent-based acts, including the Kimmerans. Other acts include the Pioneers, Jimmy Cliff, Desmond Dekker, and Trojan Records scored 20 top 30 singles, and their first number one hit was a song called Double Barrel by Brent-based artists Dave and Ansel Collins, which was in 1969. So this place that has now been demolished, now there's luxury block of flats there and Crown Court. I mean, this is a really important and musically significant place. So anyone who has any sort of interest in music history or even sort of migration history, this is a really significant place to be visiting. However, unfortunately, Trojan had sort of paired and had a relationship with Island Records, but unfortunately Island severed their business interests with Trojan Records and moved out of the borough of Brent and relocated to Ladbroke Grove. The place in Ladbroke Grove where Island Records moved to was where Bob Marley would end up recording his legendary album Exodus, whilst he was sort of exiled from Jamaica. We're going to use that as a stop in one video. We're also going to check out where Bob Marley used to live in sort of Neasden as well when he was in the UK. And 3 years later, Trojan as a label, it folded, and the sort of original companies were sold off to Saga Music. So this is sort of a sad sort of tale to sort of see how this sort of legendary label ended up folding and collapsing, but its legacy does stay on with the sort of bands it's produced and the music it's let out. There we have it. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. Next week we're going to be continuing along with the sort of reggae theme, and we are going to be looking at sort of Trojan Records, not nemesis, that's sort of the wrong word, they're sort of rival record company. Anyway, stay safe and stay positive.